So when you hear the name Bugatti, what comes to mind? It's way more than just a car, right? It's this incredible legend, a story that's been over 100 years in the making, all about art, insane speed, and some pretty amazing comebacks.
And really, this one quote says it all. This is the key to the entire Bugatti philosophy. From day one, the goal was never just to be better than the competition. No, the goal was to create something so different, so advanced, that it just couldn't be compared to anything else.
And it all starts with this guy, the founder, Ettore Bugatti. Now, the thing you have to understand is that he wasn't an engineer, not by training. He actually came from this incredibly artistic family, and that background, well, it defined everything he ever created.
So you have this young man born into a world of art who becomes completely obsessed with mechanics. He teaches himself engineering, designs his first car, and wins an award for it at just 20 years old. By 1909, he's opened his own shop in an old factory, setting the stage for what would become one of the most legendary race cars of all time.
Let's just geek out on this for a second, because the Type 35 was a total game changer. While everyone else was using these heavy, clunky wire-spoked wheels, Bugatti pioneered lightweight cast alloy wheels. They even hollowed out the front axle just to save a little bit of weight. These weren't just minor improvements. This was next-level thinking that made the car faster, handle better, and, frankly, look like a piece of art.
And the result of all that innovation? This number? It's just staggering. The Type 35 didn't just win races, it absolutely dominated. We're talking over 1,000 victories. At its peak, it was winning an average of 14 races every single week. Unbelievable.
But Ettore's genius wasn't just confined to the racetrack. He also created, well, this monster, the Type 41 Royale. The engine was a colossal 12.7 liters. To put that in perspective, that's about 8 times bigger than the engine in a typical modern car. This thing was a rolling palace, built for kings and queens.
And this right here, this quote, tells you everything you need to know about Ettore's personality. Apparently, a customer complained about the car's brakes, and this was his response. It's just perfect, right? It shows his laser focus on one thing and one thing only, performance.
But then, the story takes a truly tragic turn. In 1939, Ettore's son, Jean Bugatti, a brilliant designer in his own right and the heir to the company, was killed in a crash. He was testing the very car that had just won the legendary Le Mans race. In an instant, the company's future was shattered.
So, after World War II, and with Ettore himself passing away in 1947, the original company just couldn't recover. It limped along for a bit, but eventually, in 1963, it was sold off. And just like that, the Bugatti name went quiet. It went into hibernation for decades.
But you know, a legend like Bugatti doesn't just die. It waits. And then, in 1987, it started to wake up. An Italian entrepreneur, Romano Ardioli, who was a huge Bugatti fan, bought the rights to the name. He had this crazy, ambitious dream to bring Bugatti back and make it the greatest in the world again.
And wow, this was the result of that dream, the EB110. They unveiled it on what would have been Ettore's 110th birthday. It was designed from the ground up to be the most technologically advanced supercar on the planet. What a tribute, right?
I mean, the tech in this thing was straight out of science fiction for the early 90s. We're talking a V12 engine with not 1, not 2, but 4 turbochargers. All-wheel drive, which was rare for supercars back then, and a chassis made from carbon fiber, the same stuff used in F1 and fighter jets. This car was a glimpse into the future.
And man, did it deliver. It smashed the world record, becoming the fastest production car on Earth. It was a massive success, but then disaster struck. The global economy tanked, the luxury market collapsed, and by 1995, Bugatti was bankrupt. Again.
But the legend just refused to stay down. In 1998, the mighty Volkswagen Group steps in and buys the brand. And they didn't just want to bring it back. They laid down a challenge that sounded completely insane. Build a street-legal car with more than 1,000 horsepower and a top speed over 400 kilometers per hour.
I mean, just look at these numbers. 1,000 horsepower, 400 kilometers an hour. These goals weren't just ambitious. They were absurd. To even attempt this, engineers had to throw out the rulebook and rethink everything they knew about building a car.
And this is what they came up with. The Veyron. To hit those impossible targets, it needed a massive W16 engine, that's basically 2 V8s fused together, and an incredible 10 radiators just to keep the whole thing from melting into a puddle.
This was one of the biggest engineering challenges in automotive history.
But here's the thing. It couldn't just be a rocket ship with wheels. It had to be a Bugatti. That meant connecting all that modern tech back to Ettore's original philosophy, that perfect blend of art, form, and technique. It had to be beautiful, not just brutally fast.
And that brings us to this simple but incredibly powerful design philosophy. Form follows performance. What that means is that every single curve, every vent, every line you see on a modern Bugatti is there for a specific, functional reason. Nothing is just for decoration.
And you can really see that artistic DNA in their special editions. On the left, you've got the Pur Sang, which means pure blood, celebrating raw aluminum and bare carbon fiber. And on the right, a collaboration with the fashion house Hermès. It's basically a $1 million handbag you can drive at over 400 kilometers an hour.
So the Veyron didn't just break records, it created an entirely new category of car. And its successor, the Chiron, took that incredible foundation and just dialed everything up to 11. More power, more speed, more luxury. It just kept pushing the boundaries.
This table just lays it all out, and it's kind of wild to look at. We thought 1,001 horsepower in the Veyron was the absolute limit. Then the Chiron comes along and jumps to 1,500. And the Supersport, a mind-melting 1,600 horsepower. With every new model, they just kept rewriting what we thought was possible. And this is a perfect example of form follows performance in the real world. See that extended rear end on the Chiron Supersport? That's called a long tail. It's not there just to look cool, it's aerodynamically shaped to keep the car stable at ridiculously high speeds. It's pure, beautiful function.
So what do you even call a machine like this? It's not just a supercar anymore, it's graduated. This is a hypercar. It's the absolute top tier, the pinnacle of what's possible with performance, tech, and design. It's a category that Bugatti basically invented and still completely owns. Which brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? From Ettore Bugatti tinkering in his workshop, obsessed with art and mechanics, to today's engineering marvels, the brand has always lived in this space between two worlds. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Is a Bugatti the ultimate performance machine, or is it the ultimate piece of automotive art?